Well, a week after dropping out of the race for the White House, John Hickenlooper has launched the campaign many wanted him to target from the start.
The former Colorado governor talked in the past hour about getting into the race for U.S. Senate and challenging Republican Cory Gardner. Our political specialist, Sean Boyd, broke the news of Hickenlooper ditching that presidential run. Sean, at this point, what's he saying about getting into the Senate primary against other Democrats?
Well, Jim, he says Washington needs someone like him, someone who will go to Congress, work across the aisle, and get things done, even though he said just a few months ago that repeatedly that he was not cut out for the Senate. And when he launched his campaign today, it was low-key. Hickenlooper made his announcement by video, just as he did when he dropped out of the presidential race. While most candidates begged for TV time, Hickenlooper's only camera availability was here at 5 p.m., where he shook a few hands and took a few questions. He has an edge as a popular former governor, but his nomination is not a sure thing. He draws his support from the same pool of moderate Democrats that two of the top candidates, Mike Johnston and Dan Baer, do. So they will likely split that segment of the vote, while the other leading candidate, Andrew Romanoff, hopes to pick up most of those on the far left, where much of the energy in the party is now. I spoke to Romanoff via Skype, and he wasn't subtle in his criticism of Hickenlooper.
Many of his policies are the same as Cory Gardner's, which is really disturbing to me. When you describe progressive priorities as socialist or Stalinist, you're echoing the talking points of Cory Gardner and Donald Trump, and that's not helpful. I joined this race because I want to lead the fight for Medicare for all.
I believe that climate change is occurring, right? And that it is an essential existential threat to humanity, right? Donald Trump doesn't think that. Cory Gardner doesn't think that, right? I believe that health care is an essential right and not a privilege. Does Donald Trump or Mitch McConnell think that? Does Cory Gardner think that? We don't know, because they're certainly not working to get more coverage. They're not doing anything to try and make sure we don't continue to have inflation of prescription drug costs or their insurance premiums. I think it's time to actually address why aren't things that benefit Coloradans getting done.
Coincidentally, Hickenlooper made his announcement on a day when most of the candidates are in Pitkin County. They did release statements, all of them saying they are going to stay in the race, a race that now includes a dozen candidates. Some did take swipes at Hickenlooper, saying the state needs a fresh perspective and new voices, and criticized him for support of the oil and gas industry, which will be one of the big attacks against him this election season. Live in Golden, Sean Boyd covering Colorado First.
Thank you, Sean. We heard from Andrew Romanoff. Sean talking about the crowded Senate field. Also in for the Dems, Daniel Baer, a former diplomat under President Obama. Mike Johnston, popular former state senator who also ran for governor. And Angela Williams, a former state senator.